Okay, and today's my very first recovering takedowns, and it's going to be Kosoto Gake. And for some of you, it might, well, first of all, it's a Japanese word. It might not make sense to you right away, like what throw it is if you don't have a reference. But for a beginner, this is the most important self-defense throw that you can know or takedown. Royce Gracie did it way back in the early UFCs, and it's the hooking with the leg. You're using your leg to hook your partner's leg and take him down. Not a sotogari. It's Kosoto Gake. Really, really good. It's useful in a couple other self-defense situations. We're going to get into when you would use it with a guillotine today. But I will admit, it's mostly for self-defense. Kosoto Gake in sport can be challenging. You can do it, but you're going to have to work a little bit for it. But don't worry, for the white belts, I have a sport takedown for you guys, just so that you have something in your back pocket for when you're playing around in the club, right? So if you're more curious about sport, we got you covered. If you're curious about self-defense, man, you need to watch Kosoto Gake. Awesome, awesome throw for self-defense. Have fun. Kosoto Gake. It's a really, really good throw for self-defense. Definitely has some applications in sport, but again, your first throw ideally would be something that's great for self-defense and is not too difficult. And you'll see a lot of throws. There's going to be a lot of throws like ogoshis, hip throws, and foot sweeps, and sayanagis, and they all have different challenges, whereas Kosoto Gake is very easy and offers a lot of control for both parties. So as an instructor, when I'm teaching something like a sotogari, where I'm sweeping someone off the floor, if he doesn't know how to break fall well, that's going to be very traumatic. So Kosoto Gake has enough control that Thomas can do it to me and still control my body weight on the way down. It doesn't end up in a hard fall. So for self-defense, we're doing his hands around my shoulders. If I try to slap him or hit his head or get him in a headlock, he wraps up my arms tight in my armpits, or his armpits. He's holding onto my elbows. His head is on one side. He's going to hook my leg, pull it up, turn, and then hold on to me as he goes to mount. So this is nice because he lands in a great mount position. All right, let's see that again from this angle right here. Boom, boom. Yeah, he's actually holding me up on the way down. Both my arms are up. Now, I can't break fall, but I feel very well controlled, and I'm twice his weight almost, so that's quite the difference. When we're doing this, one of the little tips here is you want whatever side you're gonna fall, whatever leg you're gonna hook, it's better to have your head to that side, or at least put your body weight to that side. So when Thomas is blocking here, he's doing a very good job of this, by the way, trapping my hand in his armpit and holding onto my elbow so I can't get away. His head is in tight so I can't hit him. He hooks my leg, and now he can lean to that side, which allows me to fall to that side. Okay? And you can see the hook that he's doing is just lifting his leg and bringing it back. Okay? Now, the one little detail that gets missed a lot is coming right up. So what people miss is this little rotation. A lot of people try to hook the leg and then step forward. And that adds a lot of momentum, and that could be good because you could land hard on your partner or your opponent for self-defense, but it also makes you a lot more unstable and you're gonna lose your balance. So if you watch what Thomas is doing here, we'll get the head to this side.
Oh yeah.
Because you're doing a good hook there. He hooks the leg, watch which way he turns. That's excellent. So he's turning to the side of the leg that's hooking. And that's definitely a little tip that's gonna help people out. Whatever leg you hook with, turn to that side and then step to mount. He's doing an excellent job of it. Watch one more time. Hands are up for self-defense. I try to hit him, head is in, holding my arms, hook the leg, and then he turns. Good. I rushed it a little bit, that's okay. Or I rushed it a bit. Let's try him again. Ready? There you go. One thing I maybe would give Thomas some advice on is this arm is being held very well behind his back. This one's a little bit loose. I feel like I can get that elbow out, but that's an easy adjustment to make. The other thing I like about Kosoto Gake is you can use it in different positions. Okay, so one version of the Kosoto Gake that I like is as off a guillotine escape. And it's not one that Thomas is as familiar with yet, but let's see him go for it here. Arm over the shoulder, hand on the knee, hook the leg, climb around. Good, and just get your foot free. Wiggle your foot out of there. Nice. This is a very classic style guillotine escape. You're gonna wanna hold on to the wrist right away. Just a second, I'll do it without you. Arm is over top of the shoulder and the hand then goes to the knee. This arm is gonna keep you from getting choked. This hand is gonna stop them from getting posture. You circle around and then you're gonna hook this leg and drive back. Sometimes you're not gonna need to hook the leg in that Kosoto Gake style hook. You're gonna be able to get around your partner fine. But if you get someone who's really big or tall, then you're gonna have to get that leg and climb your way around. So if you watch Thomas, we're gonna just break this one down quick. If he brings this on right now, sorry, don't defend at all, Thomas. There's the guillotine, okay? So there's the submission. If he brings his arm over my shoulder, he can hang off of the shoulder. So it helps spread some of that weight out, right? Because I'm taller, makes it easier for him to help out. This hand will go to my wrist to pull down until he can get this hand on my knee. Oh, or he might go there right away, but then what he's gonna do, this hand, yes, is gonna push. And when he pushes with that knee, it bends me over. And it's incredibly difficult to guillotine this way. You want your hips underneath your choke. So when Thomas pushes onto my knee right away, it makes it difficult for me, and it's putting that foot in front for him to hook. Now he hooks, and he might climb around. Sometimes when the leg comes up, sometimes it's the shoulder pressure. So sometimes it's his shoulder pressure that knocks me down, and sometimes it's gonna be the hook that pulls my leg out. If he pulls my leg out, it's gonna be a little bit of a harder landing. If he's just using the hook to get around and use his shoulder to put me down, then he can lower my weight much nicer. So let's see that one more time from this angle. Nice. And let's see one time where the hook doesn't work, but you have to use your shoulder. Which one do you like better? The shoulder, the hook where you pull my leg right out, or the hook and then the shoulder pressure?
I like the hook where you pull the leg right out. I feel like I have more control for some reason.
Okay, so that's something to keep in mind of what that leg is doing. Now, for a lot of people, this can be a very difficult throw to do in sport jiu-jitsu, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so in self-defense, it's great because I, as an attacker, I'm putting myself in a position that makes it easier for him to get this control, right? So he's got the bear hug, maybe he closes the gap and bear hugs me and then hooks my leg, or maybe it's like I said, the guillotine, and he takes me down. But in sport jiu-jitsu, it's not that easy to close the gap. And especially for a white belt, one of the most anxious times for me as a coach is watching two big white belts try to do takedowns, because the chances of injury starts going up. That's definitely one of the more consistent places to be mindful of. So Thomas, being a lot lighter than me, probably isn't gonna want to do any kind of judo to take me down, and probably not any wrestling. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna pull guard.
He's probably gonna pull guard, and that's it's one of the most common things in jiu-jitsu. So we'll get a simple guard pull, boom, and what are you gonna do here? Yes, okay? Now, there's a lot of different variations we can do of this, of course, but we're just gonna go something simple. Thomas is gonna get some grips. Good, he's gonna put a foot on my hip. Good, and he's gonna sit down. Good, and then he's gonna bring his other foot probably to my hip, maybe behind my leg. It's just a nice way to introduce the guard pull. Just nice and easy. What do you like about pulling guard?
It opens up a lot of sweeps. So if you're in sports jiu-jitsu, it opens up a lot of points.
Can you show me a sweep? Yeah, your very first jiu-jitsu sweep that we were showing you guys, the broom sweep, right? So it's really easy to get into that. What else do you like about it?
It opens up submissions too, like arm bars,
Good.
chokes.
What else?
It's not hard to mess up.
Okay, I won't lie, it's pretty easy to mess up, but for a beginner, for the most part, it'll be okay. What I know Thomas likes is he gets to do his guard pull when?
When I roll.
When he wants, not when I want necessarily, right? So whenever you're in control of the timing of, I'm gonna do it when I'm ready, that makes you feel more comfortable, right? Whenever you have to do something based on a reaction, that takes a lot more experience. So if I'm gonna do something to Thomas and then for him to counter me, he has to be put in that position many, many, many times and be understanding what is about to happen to him, what he needs to do and when he can do it. So that can be very challenging, especially for a beginner. So for a guard pull, it's an easy thing to do because you can just pull guard. Okay, now for me, I'm not a big fan of guard pulling. I like to get grips and clinch and I'll work off of there. I do like some sacrifice throws, but I will guard pull, especially against the kids, because it's just fun. So what I'll do with the kids is I get my hips lower than their hips, I get my hand out and I touch, and I grab their arm and I dive underneath. Now, typically, I start going for like De La Hiva kind of stuff because it's fun and it's easy. But the keys here, I want my hips lower than his hips. I need to get some sort of grip for sport or else I'll have to stand up. I could get penalized. So squatting, not bending. I'm gonna put my hand on the floor so I can touch, and then I'm gonna sit through and pull guard. Now, if I pull guard straight on, he's gonna have balance. So that's what I'm not too fond of for a general guard pull where you sit straight down. I like to try and spin so they have to take a step of some kind. So again, with Thomas here, boom, boom, this is very common, this stance in jiu-jitsu, and you move around a little bit. Oh. So I touched and pulled, but I didn't get a grip. So I have to go again. There you go, and right into it. So I want, just like that, to get him moving. As a beginner, you watch what Thomas is doing, he's getting his grips, good, and he's gonna get a grip, and he's gonna pull guard, foot on the hip. This is fine, like I said, where he was showing you could go right into a broom sweep. If we're gonna add one little detail to make it a little bit better, when he pulls guard, he's gonna step to the side, and then, yeah. So now, again, I'm off balance. So that's gonna affect my posture quite a bit. Okay, so for your Kosoto Gake, like I was saying, for self-defense, really good, really safe. You can control your partner or your opponent. You land in a great position. One thing to keep in mind, whatever leg you're hooking, you want to have the weight on that side. So usually it means if Thomas's head is here, he's going to hook this leg. Good. But sometimes he might want his head here and he'll really pull the other elbow down and then hook. And occasionally I'll do that too. I usually prefer to have my head on my opponent's right shoulder, and then when I hook, I pull my left or my right elbow down tight. So it's just something to be mindful of. You'll feel comfortable probably on either one, but there's no perfect answer unless you prefer head down and hook on the same side. We'll make it a little simpler for you, okay? So something to keep in mind there. For those that are looking for more sport, like I said, Kosoto Gake could be a little bit of a challenge. So doing guard pulling is like the most common thing jiu-jitsu guys are known for, is pulling guard. And like Thomas was mentioning, try not to pull guard into a sweep, pull guard into a submission. So there's a constant threat. So as a beginner, the black belt tip would be pull guard with already having a plan of what sweep I want to do. And like he did, he just went right into a broom sweep, which is really, really, really common. Okay? Have fun, guys.